My husband's ex warned me. He'll never stop, she said. I didn't believe her, until I found his dating profile, still active. That night, I created a fake account and matched with him. When he messaged, looking for something real, I replied, like the wife you already have? The next morning, I left the divorce papers on his desk, with screenshots. I met my husband Marcus in Austin, Texas. We met in a bookstore. I know that sounds like something out of a romantic movie, but it happened. I was looking at a shelf of true crime books. He walked over, made a joke about how it was weird to be so into murder, and somehow that turned into a conversation. He was tall, well-dressed, smelled nice. He had this confidence about him that wasn't arrogant, just calm. Collected. Like he knew what he was doing in life. I was 34, had just gotten out of a 3-year relationship, and wasn't really looking for anyone. But he made it easy to fall into a rhythm with him. He worked in finance. Owned his condo. Had a dog. Called his mom every Sunday. I thought, okay. This is a grown man. Not a project. Not a fixer-upper. A real adult. We started dating. Within 6 months, we moved in together. A year later, we got married. I met his ex-wife at his nephew's birthday party. Her name is Ava. I didn't know she would be there, and he never really said much about her except that she was emotionally unstable and that they just grew apart. When I saw her, I expected things to be awkward. But she was calm. Friendly, even. We were both standing near the backyard, watching the kids run around. She turned to me, out of nowhere, and said, "He's charming, huh?" I laughed, kind of nervous. "Yeah, I guess." She looked at me with this blank expression. No emotion. She just said, "He won't stop. You know that, right? The cheating. He never stops." Then she walked away. That was it. No follow-up. No tone in her voice. Just a fact, like she was telling me it might rain later. I asked Marcus about it that night. He rolled his eyes, laughed it off, and said, "She cheated on me. She's trying to rewrite the story. She's bitter." He told me not to worry. So I didn't. It didn't happen all at once. That's the part that really messes with you. It was slow. Little things. He started putting his phone face down. Always. Not just sometimes. Always. I'd ask, "Is everything okay?" He'd say, "Why are you being paranoid?" I asked once if we could go to therapy, not because I thought anything was horribly wrong, but because I felt disconnected from him. I thought it would help us talk more. He got offended. "So now I'm a bad husband? You think I'm broken? You think I'm like your ex?" That one hit me hard. My last relationship ended because my ex was emotionally distant. I told Marcus that early on. He knew that. He turned it around and made me feel like I was the problem. Like I couldn't be satisfied with anyone. He said I was too sensitive. That I read too much into things. So I stopped asking questions. It happened on a Tuesday night. He was in the shower. I was on the couch watching a YouTube video, half listening, scrolling on my phone. One of those random dating app ads popped up, only it wasn't random. It showed his face. His actual face. Marcus. On Bumble. I stared at it. I thought maybe it was a glitch. Maybe an old photo. But then I saw the name. The same shirt he wore in Napa when we went wine tasting last year. The same exact photo. His profile said, "Looking for something real." I took a screenshot. Then I sat there for probably 10 minutes, just staring at it. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't even feel angry. I just felt empty. I made a fake profile. Used a stock photo from Google. Picked a name, Jessica. Said I worked in marketing, liked hiking and brunch. Super basic. I swiped right on him. He matched with me. Right away. That hurt more than I expected. He sent a message. "Hey, you seem different. I'm looking for something real. Tired of the games." That was when I felt something snap. I typed, "Like the wife you already have?" There was no reply. He unmatched instantly. But I had the screenshots. All of it. I didn't confront him that night. I went to bed before he got out of the shower. Pretended to be asleep. He kissed my forehead and whispered, "Love you." I didn't move. The next day, I called a lawyer during my lunch break. Told her everything. Sent her the screenshots. She said it was more than enough. I didn't tell Marcus I knew. Not yet. I printed the divorce papers. I printed every screenshot. The dating profile. The message. The photo. The timestamp. Everything. I put it all in a folder. Then I waited. I didn't know exactly what I was waiting for. Maybe I just wanted to feel like I was ready to end it. To really be done. I'm not done telling this. There's more. A lot more. I just needed to stop here for now. He still doesn't know that I know everything. He still kisses me goodnight like nothing happened. He still texts me sweet messages like he's the perfect husband. But the folder is ready. And I'm not waiting much longer. It started with a text. Not from him. It was from an unknown number. Just a single message, I think we need to talk. I'm sorry. I didn't know he was married. At first, I thought it was a scam or some kind of sick joke. I replied, who is this? She said her name was Brianna. She told me she met Marcus on Bumble. They'd been talking for weeks. She said he told her he was divorced and just figuring things out. He even told her he wasn't ready to jump into anything serious, but that he hadn't felt this kind of connection in a long time. Same words he used with me years ago. She found out he was married when she searched his name. My full name came up on a mortgage listing with his. That's when she started putting the pieces together. She wasn't the girl I catfished him with. This was someone else. A real person. A real woman. I asked if she had messages. She sent me screenshots. Photos. Voice memos. That was the twist I didn't expect. I had proof already. But now? Now I had more. He wasn't just fishing on apps. He had been catching. I stayed up all night reading everything she sent me. He told her he lived alone. Said he used to be married but it ended last year. They met for coffee 3 times. She said nothing physical had happened yet, but he was clearly moving in that direction. She even asked, did I ruin your marriage? No, I told her. He did. I asked her for one favor. One final message. Would you meet with him again? But this time, let me come too. She agreed. 2 days later, they made plans to meet at a coffee shop near Lady Bird Lake. I knew it well. We'd been there together many times. It had those big windows and tiny tables. He probably thought he'd get away with it. Maybe meet her, charm her again, and disappear without a trace. But I was there before him. I sat at a corner table, hoodie up, sunglasses on. I looked like a tired tourist. She came in first, sat down, ordered an iced coffee. Then he walked in. He was wearing his casual nice guy outfit. Polo shirt, fitted jeans, leather watch he only wears when he wants to impress. He smiled when he saw her. She smiled back. Then I stood up and walked toward their table. He turned and saw me. He froze. His face lost all color. I didn't scream. I didn't throw coffee in his face. I just stood there, looked at him, then looked at her, and said, thanks, Brianna. I've got it from here. She nodded and walked out. She didn't even finish her drink. We sat down. Silence for a long time. Then he spoke. What are you doing? That's what he led with. Not I'm sorry. Not I can explain. Not even it's not what it looks like. Just. What are you doing? I pulled the folder out of my bag and dropped it on the table. Screenshots. Profile pages. Messages. Photos. The printed divorce papers. I didn't say anything. Just watched him go pale. He didn't even open the folder. He just stared at it like it was a bomb. Then he said, you don't understand. I didn't do anything with her. I was just talking to people. I was lonely. I laughed. Actually laughed. Out loud. Right in his face. I said, you're lonely? You live with your wife, Marcus. You're married. To me. You're not lonely. You're just selfish. He tried to reach for my hand. I pulled away. When I got home that night, I felt numb. I thought I'd feel relief. I thought I'd feel free. But I didn't. Not yet. Because when I checked the shared laptop we kept in the office, just out of curiosity, I found another folder. A secret folder. Buried deep in a cloud backup I didn't know existed. It had dozens of pictures. Screenshots of conversations. Some were clearly from other women. Some of the messages were worse than anything I'd seen so far. I don't even know all their names. One of them, this part still makes my stomach turn, was a woman he had met before we got married. She had sent him a picture of herself in a dress. He replied, "You'd look better in it than my fiancé ever could." The timestamp? 2 weeks before our wedding. I just sat there. Alone in that office. Clicking through messages. Each one stabbing a little deeper than the last. I didn't cry. I didn't feel much of anything anymore. Yeah. His ex. Ava. I hadn't spoken to her since the birthday party. But I reached out and asked if she'd ever found messages like these during their marriage. She said yes. But then she told me something I wasn't expecting. "He used to lie about you. When we were still married." I asked what she meant. She said, "He told me there was a woman he worked with. Said she was in love with him. That she followed him around. He made it sound like you were the one chasing him." I only realized years later that it was probably the other way around. I felt sick. That means he was already lining me up before his first marriage even ended. He doesn't know what's coming next. But I do. Ava texted me the day after we talked. She said something had been bothering her since our last call. "Did he ever mention a storage unit to you?" I said no. "Never." She replied, "He had one when we were married. Said it was for work stuff. He used to disappear for hours organizing it." I had forgotten about it until now. That made my heart sink. I knew Marcus kept old work files and boxes of random junk, but he always said it was in the garage or at his office downtown. Never a storage unit. I started digging. I remembered seeing a recurring charge on our joint credit card once, a small monthly fee I assumed was for a streaming service. It was public storage. I looked it up. Found the address. Not far, about 15 minutes from our house. I drove there the next day. The lady at the front desk asked for ID. I showed it. She pulled up the account. Sure enough, Marcus B. rented for 3 years. She buzzed me in. I walked down the hallway to unit 1148. I opened it. And froze. It wasn't full of boxes or old furniture like I expected. Instead, it looked like a weird second life. There was a twin mattress on the floor. A cheap IKEA lamp. An old laptop. A foldable camping chair. Clothes. Condoms. A half-empty bottle of cologne I'd never seen before. It smelled like stale sweat and air freshener. There were receipts stuffed into a shoebox. From restaurants I'd never been to. Grocery store runs for single portions. Wine for 2. All dated during weekends I thought he was on work trips. In one of the drawers of the plastic bin, I found something that shook me harder than the fake profile or the messages. It was a little blue box. Inside was a pair of earrings. Tiffany & Company. Not mine. There was a handwritten card tucked under the lid. "Can't wait for our weekend. You're everything she's not." No name. Just that. That was the moment I realized something I hadn't considered before. Marcus wasn't just cheating with random women. He might have had another relationship. I went back home, locked the door behind me, and started tearing through everything. I knew there had to be more. He was too careful. Too smart. Too organized to make rookie mistakes. The dating app? A slip. Brianna? A blind spot. But this storage unit meant he had done this before. 4 years. That night, while he was in the shower, I checked the lining of the travel bag he used for client trips. There was a zippered pocket I'd never noticed before. It was stitched inside the bottom panel. I had to cut through it with a nail file. Inside? A second phone. Burner phone. No fingerprint. Just a 4-digit code. I tried his birthday. Unlocked on the first try. The contents were minimal, but devastating. Hundreds of messages. Many to women saved only as first names or initials. All of them flirty. Sexual. Coordinating meetups. Some using hotel room numbers. Some just emojis. One contact stood out, I assumed it was Brianna. But when I opened it, I realized quickly, it wasn't. This woman's messages were deeper. Personal. Like they had a history. She sent pictures of her cat, her nieces, even her work desk. He sent photos of our dog. Our dog. She thought she was in a relationship. Then came the worst one. A message from her saying, "I talked to my landlord. He said he'll let you move in next month. Just need to figure out your stuff." Another message, 2 days later, did you tell her yet? This whole time, I thought I was building up the courage to leave him. But he was already planning to leave me. He just hadn't figured out how to do it without ruining his image. Marcus is very calculated. He doesn't like mess. He needs control. I think that's why he always liked keeping his options hidden. He needed an escape hatch. Someone to fall back on. He had it all planned. And I had no idea. I didn't confront him that night. Or the next. Instead, I made copies of everything on the burner phone. Sent it all to myself. Backed up every message, every photo, every timestamp. Then I went to my lawyer. I asked her how much he stood to lose in a contested divorce where infidelity, emotional damage, and deception were proven. She gave me the number. It was big. She asked me, do you want to ruin him or do you want to be free? I told her I wasn't ready to answer that yet. But now I'm close. He still doesn't know I found the unit. He still doesn't know about the second phone. He thinks this is just about a dating app and some mild flirtation. He has no idea how deep he's buried himself. He keeps acting normal. Texting me good morning and love you. Asking if I want Thai food tonight. Wondering if I'm free for brunch with his parents this weekend. I play along. But inside, I'm already gone. I'm watching the life he built fall apart from the inside out. And the best part? He doesn't even see it coming. I spent the week pretending. Pretending to laugh at his jokes. Pretending to enjoy dinner. Pretending to not see him checking his phone constantly, probably messaging one of his side lives. I moved quietly. My lawyer had everything prepped. I had photos, texts, emails, timestamps, witness statements. Even a video recording from the coffee shop meeting. But I needed one more thing. I needed him to admit it. Out loud. No denial. No spin. Just the truth, dropped in the middle of the world he'd built. So I planned it. It was his 37th birthday. We'd made a dinner reservation at a nice Italian place downtown. He invited friends, coworkers, even his parents. He made a big deal about it, wanted it to feel special. I showed up early. Spoke to the manager. Booked a private room. Told them I'd be paying the bill. No problem. One by one, the guests arrived. We all smiled. Toasted. Wished him well. He was glowing. Full of himself. Telling jokes. Bragging about some new account he'd closed. Then I stood up. Can I say something? I asked. Everyone turned to me. Marcus grinned. Oh, he joked. She's gonna roast me. I smiled. But I wasn't joking. 3 years ago, I married this man because I thought he was honest, loyal, and good. Turns out, he's a liar, a serial cheater, and the best actor I've ever met. Silence. He froze. His smile cracked. Laughed nervously. What is this? I opened my bag. Pulled out the folder. The phone. The photos. The card from the storage unit. I placed them on the table. This is everything you've been doing behind my back. Brianna. The burner phone. The woman you were planning to move in with. The Tinder profile. The secret storage unit with a mattress in it. Should I keep going? Gasps around the room. His mom literally whispered, "Oh my God." His boss leaned back in his chair, staring at Marcus like he was seeing him for the first time. Marcus stood up, face red. This is a private matter. What are you doing? I stayed calm. No, Marcus. You made this public. You lied to every single person here. You pretended to be someone you're not. I'm just giving them the courtesy of knowing the real you. He lost it. You're acting crazy. This is low. You're blowing things out of proportion. These are just messages. I didn't do anything. You're trying to ruin my life, you ruined it yourself. He slammed his glass down. It shattered. Someone from the staff came rushing in. His dad muttered, "Enough. That's enough." And then, Marcus looked at me with pure panic. You don't understand. I didn't mean for it to go this far. That was the most honest thing he'd said in months. He stormed out. His mom followed him. His sister stayed back, stunned. A few of his coworkers awkwardly whispered goodbyes. His best friend just shook his head and said, "Damn, man. Damn." The restaurant manager pulled me aside and asked if I wanted to box up his cake. I told him to give it to the staff. I stayed behind. Finished my wine. Paid the bill. Then I left. He tried calling that night. I didn't answer. He texted, "You embarrassed me in front of everyone. We can fix this. Just talk to me. Please don't do this. I'm sorry. You still love me, right?" I didn't reply. 2 days later, he was served the divorce papers, at his office. He tried to delay the process. Said we should work through it privately. My lawyer laughed and said he had 2 lives. Now he gets 2 court dates. Ava texted me, "Saw your name trending in our old neighborhood group. Heard about the dinner. You did what I should have done. Brianda?" She sent me flowers with a note, "Thank you for telling the truth. I'm sorry he did this to you. I didn't know. It's been 3 weeks since the dinner. I moved into a friend's guest house. It's small, but it's quiet. Peaceful. My phone is finally silent. No more tracking. No more guessing. No more second-guessing my own sanity. Sometimes I still hear his voice in my head. Still wonder if I missed something. Still question if there was a version of him that was real. Maybe the man I married was just the costume. And the real Marcus was the man in that storage unit, cheap, hidden, secretive, always prepared to run. But I'm done blaming myself. I loved someone who didn't really exist. I married a lie. And it hurt. God, it hurt so much. But what hurts more is realizing I lost myself in trying to love him right. Now I'm learning to love myself again. Not every story ends with healing and sunshine. Sometimes, it ends in court papers and burned bridges. But even that can be a beginning. I'll end this with something I told myself the night I left the house for good: it's not my job to fix a man who breaks people and calls it love. I'm done with him. But I'm just getting started with me.